Hello, Oded. How are you?
Good. How are you, Rama?
Good. Congratulations on House of David Season 2, now streaming on the Wonder Project subscription channel available on Prime Video. Now, Oded, you play Abner on this show. Abner is based on the actual character from the Bible or the Old Testament. He was the commander of King Saul's army. Did you do extensive research into the biblical and historical context of Abner and the time period to inform your performance?
I did during last season, yes. During the season one, I did quite a bit of research. There's not that much information about Abner specifically, but there's a lot of interpretation about Abner, and we do a lot of interpretation on the show. So at some point, we kind of moved into well, what is the dramatical story here between these characters, the relationship between Abner and Saul, and what is Abner's goals and wishes in life, and what is the most important thing for him in his life. And I think we've come to terms that the Abner is just beholding to Saul for saving his life, from coming from darkness as a child, and is basically trying to hold and keep the kingdom together and do what he can to protect Saul. But of course, in season two, we start off with everything that we solved all the issues that we had in season one. We're doing really fantastic and really great. And then Saul decides to be incredibly self-destructive and kind of erode everything again. And when he does, that's when Abner is starting to think, am I going too far? How far should I go? How much do how far do I take this?
What conversations did you have with the showrunners about interpreting Abner in that kind of a way? Because it gets really dark in the season 2.
It does get pretty dark, but Abner, we know that he comes from darkness, right? We know Abner comes from a world. We've shown it in season one when the queen asked him to work with magic. So we know that he comes from that kind of area, that kind of environment. He comes from darkness. So to I think to have him have to face that again during season two and have him having him uh, uh, having to go back into the we always said it's like an addict, right, that's been sober and clean for 20 years, and then somebody asks him, I need you to go back and take drugs for me again, and potentially destroy your life, in order to succeed in this mission. So, hopefully I portrayed it well enough that the how difficult it is and how hard it is for him, and yet hopefully they're successful in their mission.
Abner is fiercely loyal to King Saul. How does that loyalty evolve or become tested in season 2, especially as Saul's reign falters and David's ascent continues?
So that loyalty does falter. At certain times he makes a decision to step away or not do exactly what he was told, not follow the mission exactly as he was told, because I think he feels this is too far. This is not helping us. This is unnecessary. Um, I think he definitely is questioning a lot of what is happening around him, the choices that everyone is making. He is seeing, David being such a wonderful hero for us, and one that we can take advantage of for Saul and his kingdom, and yet somehow Saul keeps screwing with it. And so his feeling with David is very complex, because he is, on the one hand, he feels David has, done nothing wrong and is wonderful and is very helpful. On the other hand, having to keep Saul's jealousy in check, as well as the horrible things that they have to do to who they think the Messiah was, who came, and so on. The regrets of that, the constant fighting with the seer, and his, Abner is somebody who truly believes in the Jewish faith and believes in Samuel, and Samuel's power, and Samuel's relationship to God, and yet he has to constantly be at odds with that because of Saul. So it's kind of fun to play this complex characters constantly in a state of what the heck is going on? Where are we going now? Why are we doing this? Let's not do this.
Now, I'm a big fan of yours, big fan of the Mummy franchise, Resident Evil franchise, Star Trek Discovery, even Deuce Bigelow. You were amazing in those films. And these are different genres. And now you're doing historical, biblical drama. What's it like to jump from one genre to the next as an actor for you? And do you find some similarities between those titles I just mentioned to you to House of David?
Well, the funny thing is, the House of David, if any, out of everything I've done, the House of David has been the most kind of like reminiscing about the Mummy, because all of a sudden I'm wearing these robes again, and I'm riding horses again in kind of desert conditions again. It's been really wonderful, and I love the heat, and I don't mind the dust too much. So all of that, sword fighting, doing sword fighting on a horse. I mean, my gosh, it's been really very wonderful, and a lot of fun to kind of almost bring that back a little bit. Um, so that's been amazing. I even have a picture on House of David of me rearing a horse,
Hmm.
and then I have a picture next to it, of me on the Mummy rearing a horse, and it's like 25 years apart.
Yeah.
So it's no, it's been really a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun reconnecting with everybody from the Mummy as well
Mm.
in the last few months. So. Um, yeah, yeah, we're getting older, but we're still having fun.
Can I ask you, what do you think of Michael Iskander's performance as David? Because prior to him, we only have this image of Richard Gere as David. Remember in the old movie?
Right.
Yeah. What do you think of Michael's performance?
Oh my God, I think Michael's perfect casting. I mean, he's so amazing in the role. I think he looks the role. He is the role to many extent. Michael himself is such a wonderful, uh, wonderful human being. Very um, incredibly positive. Incredibly full of faith and friendship and love to everybody. And he is able to, have the innocence of a child and the weakness of a very kind of demure young man compared to Goliath. And yet in season two, he all of a sudden is becoming a commander and powerful and a warrior and a fighter. And I think he's doing an amazing job of playing that role. Michael's fabulous.
And a final question for you. Given that this is one of the most well-known stories in both Judaism and Christianity, so theme-wise, what do you hope a modern audience would take away from this particular adaptation of the rise of David and the end of Saul's reign?
It's a difficult question, as in what do I wish people take. Faith, and I feel faith can be something so wonderful and beautiful as long as it's not abused. And I feel like if we are helping people kind of get back to their faith a little bit, and if we are able to bring interest again in those stories, and eventually help everybody, just realize that we need to love each other more and be open to each other's opinions and faith more, then that's a wonderful thing. We're definitely not the Bible. We're not definitely not telling the story perfectly as it appears in the Bible. There's a lot of kind of dramatical freedom that the writers have taken. But I hope that we are trying to give the essence of the story, and kind of make it a little bit more digestible for people today.
All right, for my fans at home, go check out House of David Season 2, now streaming on the Wonder Project subscription channel, available on Prime Video. Oded, thank you for talking to me and congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Rama.